Hi, it's Dave Johal once again for the Boxing Voice. Pleased to be joined by someone who's going to be making her pro debut on May the 28th, Mai Soliman. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How you going?
I'm going really well. I'm going really well. It's 10 a.m. in the UK, 7 p.m. in Sydney. So thank you for doing this. You're going to be boxing at flyweight, making your pro debut. So how did you get into the sweet science? Did you have much of an amateur record and background?
I before I started boxing, I was very athletic. I've always been involved within sport itself. But as a kid, around 15, 16, I used to always love watching boxing. And I always wanted to try it, and it was something that I don't think my parents would have approved of. So I kind of went to a couple of fitness classes, and then I kind of got hooked onto it. And then I've told my coach, I would like to fight. So I started off with, a bit of sparring with the boys in the gym. And then eventually, yeah, I had my first fight around 17, 16. And then since then, I've kind of, yeah, got really hooked onto it. And I just wanted to keep fighting. With my amateur career, I've had about, let's say, 21 fights, 22 amateur fights. There's not much amateur scene here, but it is growing now. But I think my style is more suited to the pro style. So I'm really keen to make that transition from the amateurs to the pros. With the way I fight, it's, yeah, very professional. And I tend to love fighting longer rounds than the 3 to 4 rounds. So yeah, I'm making the right decision by switching over to being a professional. And I feel like this is the right time for myself. I within my heart, I do believe this is the right time. So it's good.
I mean, you're weeks away now from May the 28th when you make your pro debut. Talk to us about the show.
Yeah. So exactly 2 weeks I'll be weighing myself in. So we have the weigh-ins, and then the following day, obviously, we'll be fighting. I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be it's a local show, but it is packed. It's got some really good fighters on there. So it's gonna be a long night. There'll be a lot of fights. So I'm pretty sure I'm one of the only females on the pro card. It is an amateur and pro scene on this card. Uh, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to fighting on May 28th. My opponent flies down from Thailand. I believe she's experienced within the professional scene. She's had about 13 pro fights, I believe, and she's fought previously in Australia. She's actually fought Susie Ramadan, so I think we'll talk about it later about how I sparred her. But yeah, so she's fought in Australia before, so she knows what to do. So we're fighting actually over 6 rounds. So instead of the usual 4 rounds to start off with,
Yeah,
I've chosen to start my career with 6 rounds.
absolutely fantastic. I mean, Susy Q, Ramadan, 5-time world champion, 3 weight division world champion. She's been sparring with you, training with you. Held the WBC title, the IBF title as well. You can't, I suppose, that experience alone has been great, hasn't it? And just rubbing shoulders. What's the training been like in preparation, especially with a world champion, former world champion?
It was actually so good. About a week ago exactly, me and my coach Euro Pavic, we flew down to Melbourne, and we set up some sparring with Susie. I reached out to Susie via Instagram, and I said, hey, I'm making my pro debut on May 28th, and I would love to get some work in with you. And she was very sweet and nice about it. She was like, yeah, for sure, I'd love to meet you guys, come down. And it was very easy to set up. So we booked a flight, went down same day. We managed to get in 10 rounds of sparring with Susie, and literally left back and came back to Sydney the same day as well. But yeah, it was really good. I think I needed this before I actually began my professional career. For Susie's probably one of the best you'll ever get in Australia. She's been at the top. She's gone for world titles. She's world title shots and everything. She's fought the best of the best. So I I'm very happy I had the chance to go out there and spar with her, and held my own. I mean, after the 10 rounds, I was like, oh my God, like, I survived. But yeah, honestly, I felt good, I had like a big fat smile on my face after the sparring. She's a very nice person. She, gave me a lot of tips about, professional boxing and women's boxing. She's great. She's a really good role model for women's boxing, especially within Australia as well. So yeah, she earned
Absolutely
her.
brilliant.
Yeah, so she's great.
Absolutely brilliant. I mean, Australian boxing at the moment, it's on the rise. We've got Kambosos Junior fighting Devin Haney in what's going to be a massive card. Ebony Bridges, Tim Tszyu, Nikita Tszyu as well. No Limit Boxing. It's huge. If we just look at the Australian market at the moment and where you fit into this, is it a case of you want to take your brand overseas or just start off in Australia first? Because Tim's knocking on the door now of world titles. And I suppose the world's taking note of Australia now, isn't it, on the fighting market?
Oh yeah, 100%. There's a lot of fighters, from Australia that kind of paved the way. We're gonna start off with George. He's an example. He works hard. I started off actually training at the Zoo Boxing Academy, and that's where everyone was training at the time. You had Tim Zoo training in there, Nikita and George. So I've seen where they come from and where they started. So it's so cool to see where George is at now, Tim is at, and obviously Nikita he's just had his second pro fight. So everyone's doing good so far. And as well, Ebony, can't forget Ebony. She's, done so much for boxing and women's boxing, especially in Australia. She's really good to look up to as well. And then obviously winning a whole world title, that's, so impressive. And then that is goal. So that's obviously our main goal is to eventually end up on a world stage and get a world title. With fighting in here, I'm happy, I would love to get as many fights here. If it's overseas opportunities, I'm always, if any opportunity come knocking, I'll take it. So anything, but obviously with Liam, with SLG, I'm happy I got signed by Liam and the whole SLG development company. We have a plan to go overseas eventually and, create a pathway for myself and eventually lead to a world title. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be signed by them. So after this fight, we'll look at, I'm hoping to fight about another 3 fights this year. So I want to keep very active this year, just so I can get my ranking up and all. So it'll be
that'd be brilliant. And it's fair to say as well, in women's boxing, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes opportunities at world titles that get given early on in people's careers. So if you take Ebony, for example, she had a world title shot so early on, and who knows, that could potentially be yourself next year or in a few months, in a few years time. It could come sooner than you make it.
Yeah. I think it was smart on Ebony's side to take it, because I feel like even though she lost against Shannon Courtney, she gained a lot of fans. She gained a lot of respect. She can box. She showed the whole world, yeah, here's me. I lost the fight, but I can box. But if it's anything, she gained more than what she lost. Do you get what I mean? So, yeah. I mean, if I had the opportunity, if someone said, hey, you get a world title shot, why would I turn that down? I don't know what the future holds. I don't know when that opportunity will come again. So definitely, yeah, I think I'll definitely take something like that. So, yeah.
And sure. From an Australian perspective, the mega fight that's looming now with Kambosos Junior and Haney. What's the general feeling of the Australian fans? Is this something that's going to be absolutely huge, as big as the cricket, and is it going to be that level massive? I mean, it's at the Marvel Stadium, isn't there? That's where it's going to be shown, isn't it? Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure it's nearly sold out. So that's a whole stadium gone, you know, like it's huge. You know, everyone that I've been talking to, they were like, yeah, you know, let's book a flight and go to Melbourne, but let's buy tickets. So it's huge, you know. You get a fight like that happening in Australia. I think the last one was Jeff Horn against Manny Pacquiao. That was as big, but this is bigger now, you know. So it's perfect, and it's in a perfect city as well, Melbourne. You know, I love Melbourne. It's cool. It's a nice city. It's cool. It's very welcoming. So I think it's perfect. Yeah, it'll definitely be a really good show, you know. So
what do you? I mean, you've spent time with George and the team and everything like that. What if you had to break the fight down against Devin Haney? Do you think it's going to be? I mean, look, I know you'll be going for a George Kambosos Jr. victory, but do you think it'll be an easy night? Do you think you'll stop him? How do you think the fight will go down?
I think George will give him trouble, to be honest. George is fast. He is a counter puncher. But look what happened with Lopez. You know, he got dropped. Like, you know, that was fast. Like, no one expected that. You know, they came out of nowhere. So, you know, anything can happen in this fight. But I have George's side on this one. We're confident in him winning, you know, and adding that extra belt and being, you know, undisputed and stuff. So it'll be good. It'll be a good fight.
Good stuff. And so after May the 28th, then, which other dates have you yourself got penciled in? When are you looking to be out? Because you said 3 times in the year. Have you got anything else lined up after this one?
At the moment, nothing. But I really would love to fight again in June. So towards the end of June, if there's some opportunity comes up, then yeah, I'll definitely take it. I just want to stay very active. So once this fight is finished, I'm back into the gym the next week on Monday. You know, my fight will be Saturday night. I'm back in on Monday. Straight away, get into it. Yeah, I just want to get back into it and get my sparring back on again. I'm not looking past this fight. I'm going to take this fight very seriously, my first one. It's a 6th rounder. I'm sure the girl's going up against other tough girls. She's fought Susy before, so, you know, she knows what she's doing. So I'm not going to look past, you know. But yeah, I'll go all out. That's it. I'm ready for it. I'm ready.
Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, just before we wrap this up then, Mai, is there anything you want to plug, anything you want to promote, and where can people follow you, more importantly?
Yeah, I just want to say, you know, whoever's following me so far, thank you so much. You know, I look to, you know, going forward from here and doing really good things and growing from here. And I hope I jump on the interview next time, you know, with a couple of fights in and talking about what's our next big step. You know, if it's either going for a regional belt or whatever it is, I'm really looking forward. But yeah, I just want to thank SLG, Liam, for this opportunity and with everything, you know. Yeah, I look forward to growing with them. So it'll be good. And I want to thank my coach, Euro, for putting, you know, a lot of time with me. I'm putting up with my sparring, with my training and my whining and everything. So yeah, thank you.
Good stuff. Thank you once again from the Boxing Voice, and good luck on May the 28th. And I'll be in touch soon anyway. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Yo, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingvoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.